One of these things is not like the other.
Wizard, this isn't Sesame Street.
No, but they are kind of like each other, but then again, they're not. We're going to take a look at the differences and show you these really sweet V12 Jags today. Let's get started. That's right, 2 Jaguar XJSs. This one is a 91, this one is an 88, and there's a lot of differences between the two. I was just the other day working on a car here in the shop, and I verbally said out loud, I haven't had an XJS in the shop in a while. I wonder when another one's going to show up. And then boom, in the same day, 2 show up. That's usually how it works. I'm not complaining. I'm actually happy to work on these. These are really sweet cars. But it's just strange how you can go through a long stretch of not having a certain car in a shop, and you just think about it or verbally say something, talking to yourself, and boom, the next day 2 show up. It's really, really strange. This is Eurasian Bob's 1991 XJS, and it is in very good condition. Only 27,000 miles on it. We're going to take a look around both of them and kind of do some comparisons. We will take a look at this one on the lift. This one we will take a look on another video. But I wanted to show them side by side while they're both here, that although they look identical, they're not identical. There's some big differences. Let's take a look around the 91. So as we can see on the front of this, we can tell it was a Florida car. It's a Suncoast Car Club there. And over there is a Jaguar Club of Florida. Really cool badges. And then our Growler is gold. There it is, a little kitty, Mrs. Wizard.
I like Jags.
Yep, this one is really, really nice. As we go along to the side, we can see it has, just like all the cars did of this era, 15-inch wheels. It says Sport on the center cap there, and they are in very, very nice shape. This is kind of a pearlescent white color, and is very, very cool, very nice. As we come around to the back, you can see that it says XJS, then also it has Collection Classic. As we go down this side, you can see that it has some cladding on the rockers that the black one does not. So it has some very nice appearance package features, but not the 88. Let's go take a look around the 88. This one's in nice shape as well. It's a little dirty because they tripped it up here quite a ways. It doesn't have any badges, but it has a dark silver, kind of a gunmetal colored Growler. As we go down the side, this one has not so much of a solid looking wheel, but more of a spoked looking wheel. They're also 15s. And down the side, like I mentioned, it's a little dirty from its road trip, but it does have nice paint on it. This one's also a much older model. It has double the miles on it. It does have a New York plate on it. It says XJS V12. And it looks like the antenna, I don't know what happened there. It's just a little plug where the antenna used to be. Let's hop into the 91's interior.
Well, here we go. 27,965 miles. And this is a really interesting gauge cluster. Very good condition though, but if we move up, the dash is really great. Look at that, isn't that amazing? And when I looked at this earlier, because Bob buys the best cars, look at this wood grain. Look at all of it. It's not curled, it's not cracked. Yeah, so many Jags of this era have that problem where it just starts to disintegrate. I do like on both sides of our gear selector, we have 2 ashtrays. There's nothing in them because Bob has a pristine car all the time. Gear selector is kind of an interesting design, but you'll see a different selection when we get to the other car. One thing I've noticed is that it does have a nice classic design for our key, and this has been a kind of a design that Jaguar had for a very long time, that very simple blade style design. And I love the Growler in the center of that key. As we move back, you'll see we have our controls for our 2 windows, and we do have a nice little hidey hole here that has, well, some sort of a connection in there for something. But everything's looking good. Has a nice metal little track there to make sure that it doesn't open too far. The seats are in ivory leather as well, and they have nice fluting that goes up to that nice headrest. Door card again, more ivory leather, and again, look at the wood grain. I know, there's just nothing wrong with it, but it'll be a different design when we get to the black car. Jaguars are not known for their back seat, at least the sportier versions are, and so that's your back seat, that's your leg room. So if you're a tall person, and you have to have the seat back to drive, well, the back seat person is not getting much leg room. But looking good back there. They have no headrest, but they do have a nice little back shelf with a speaker back there as well. Headliner's in good shape. Being that this is a 91, we don't have anything other than horn buttons and an embossed growler on our steering wheel. Nothing else going on. So, let's go compare what we've just seen to the 88. So as we start off, that looks pretty much the same. Not much of a difference there. The only difference we're going to see is that it says 56,447 miles rather than the mileage that we saw in the 91. But as we move up, the dash is in pretty good shape. Got a little bit of something going on there that they've mended with, well, adhesive bonding strip. At least that's what Buzz Lightyear called it. Or, well, maybe MacGyver would just call that duct tape. But as we move around, it looks like there might be a little bit of a raised section here. But again, nothing ripped, nothing torn. So as we look at our wood grain, again, there's no breaks in the lacquer. It's not broken, it's not peeling, looking good. Looks good there around our HVAC system. But if we look back there, we can see there is the original radio that the car had. So underneath that radio, you'll see that we have a selector here, and this is for the center vent. You can adjust the temperature separately from the center vent from what you have selected over there on the actual temperature selector. But the gear selector here is what is most different in this interior space. That is much more dainty and delicate than what we see in the 91. Again, we have two ashtrays that open up on each side and more selections for the windows and things. Again, this time the key is a little different. We're back to, well, boring keys of the 1980s. Oh, I like the 90 style much better. As we look at the center armrest, it is looking in good shape. Got a few minor little scratches, maybe some dirt that might need to be scrubbed off. But as we lift up, well, what do we have here? Whoa. Well, we've got some Staying Alive with John Travolta, and we've got the classic Milli Vanilli. Whoa. Classic cassettes from the 1980s for sure. The seat has the same style of fluting that we saw in the 91, and it goes up to a headrest. It is very similar in design, but this is a little bit more rounded. And I promised the wood would be different on this door card, and it is. Look at that nice inlaid strip into there. Looking great. The rest of the door card is in amazing condition. No breaks in that leather or problems. Even the stereo grille is looking pretty good over there. Little rust, but again, this isn't like this is a brand new car. As we get to our back seat, well, there's nothing different here. There is still no leg room. They still have the fluting going on and no headrest. Very similar to what we just saw. Headliner is in good shape, and we get to here and they've, well, I'm not sure if it came with it. Looks like it might have come with some sort of a cloth cover, but that's been removed. And here we are at that steering wheel. And this is one major difference we have. In the 91, it was just a kind of inlaid, pressed into the plastic. Now we're back to the original metal growler encased in acrylic. Like that design a whole lot better. So enough of this interior talk. So let's look under the two bonnets.
Let's take a look under the bonnet, like Mrs. Wizard said. Here's our 5.3 liter V12. You can see it has the old Lucas AB14 electronic ignition amplifier here. And strangely on these engines, the distributor is in the middle of the V of the engine, right down there. Runs all through the spark plugs right in the valley. It doesn't wrap around to the other sides of the head. Here's our throttle. One linkage going to one side of the engine and one going to the other. Very strange setup. We also see our air conditioner hose here, where this is one of the cold side, and we see a little fuel cooler here that actually cools the fuel. They did that in the 80s. Really neat little feature. Here's our old GM A6 compressor. They used those for many years on all kinds of vehicles. Now let's go ahead and hop over to Eurasian Bob's 91, and it's going to look a little different under the hood. Much, much nicer and cleaner. One difference we see right away, we don't have our Lucas ignition control module right here anymore. You can see the bolt holes where it could go, but there's what we have now. We have a coil and a different style of a system. We still have the distributor in the middle, but now we see a cruise control servo here that does the cruise control. So a little bit different going on. We still have an A6 compressor This was an updated model, but it's still the A6 footprint. This one has valve cover gaskets leaking, and as you can see, both of these plenums, these aluminum colored plenums, have to come off. Lots of hoses, lots of brittle things that would just love to break. It'll be a very slow going job. So back in the day, they might have had a book time of a certain amount of hours to get those valve covers off. As these are at the current age they're at, we're going to blow right through those hours because we're not going to go real quick through tools and zipping and taking stuff apart. That's when you start breaking stuff. All the plastic and rubber hoses in here are just begging to snap in half. So you have to dial it back to a 5 instead of a 10, which takes way longer. But it saves in the end from destroying things on the engine. That's all we really need to do on the top side here is valve cover gaskets. Eurasian Bob did inform me that they had a tire blowout on this car previous to when he bought it. And he's wondering if there's any kind of wiring, anything that needs to be repaired in there. We'll take a look at that and just a general look over underneath the car. Right here we can't really see anything. We can take a look through here. You can see our condenser and our horns. Everything looks intact. No issues there. We can't really see the damage. It's actually in the wheel well where the tire blew out. But let's take a look at the rest of the car first. So here's the front of our big V12 engine. And these things are really long. It's like an inline 6 times 2. I don't see any massive leaks or anything going on there. So here's the steering rack. We do see a little bit of seepage here. That's actually the valve covers up above. They're actually leaking down, and that's what we're seeing come down right there. And on most cars, when we would get to this point, we would start to be getting into the area where the transmission is, but not on this car. It's so long on the engine. Now, we're at the oil pan of the engine. I can see that the drain plug washer, it's not loose, but it's leaking, and it's actually blowing here. So we'll do an oil change on this, put a new washer. It'll take care of all of this, but nothing serious. Now we're to the transmission, and this is the years where they used a GM transmission. Sometimes they use a TH400, and then later years they went to a 4L80E. I believe this one's a TH400 still. It says Hydromatic Division of GMC. It is a Chevy transmission in a Jag. Before we get too far back there, let's go ahead and take a look at these wheels. The brakes look good. Shock is good. Nothing is leaking in this area. Nothing's loose. One thing I do see from the tire blowout they had is right up in here. Our plastic cover that goes here is missing. I see some wiring disconnected here for the turn signals, and there's a couple broken vacuum lines and things in there, so that'll need to be repaired. It's all simple stuff. They'll just get those repaired, put a new panel in, be back in business. Brakes are good, shock is good, nothing loose. We can see here this one, which didn't have a blowout, still has its panel in place. One thing that's cool about these is they have dual exhaust all the way back. There is nothing that ties over from left to right. They are separate systems. Here's our drive shaft, nothing loose there. And look here, guys, your brake calipers are not even in your wheels. They're right there mounted to your differential. That's the way they did these Jags for many years. They had the brakes inboard, which is actually kind of easy. You take the pins out and you can do your brake job right here. But if we take a look in the wheel, as you can imagine, there's no rotors, no brakes or anything inside of there. Here's our CV shaft, 2 shocks and 2 springs. Nothing leaking anywhere there. Looks good, nothing loose. Everything looks good over there as well. And those brakes we just talked about, they look to be about 70% remaining. Everything looks good there as well. And at the end, our true duals turn into 4 tips. It looks like it has 4 exhausts. It's actually 2, but it has dual tips at each end. Let's get this thing back on the ground. So Eurasian Bob has brought this here just to solve the few little issues it has, and then it's going to be a cherry cream puff. It is really, really nice. You can contact him. There's a link in the description if you have any questions about this car. It's going to be here for a little while while we sort out those few items. Then I'll be going back to him, ready for sale. It is the nicest XJS I've ever seen in my shop. It's really good. That one back there we'll do another video on. We're going to do a full inspection on it and fluids and all those things and see what other issues we can find arise in the inspection. That'll be a separate video. But definitely wanted to do one on this one to show you guys how nice this one is and how it compares in year difference to that one. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this XJS, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. If you purchase anything there, we get a small cut and we really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button here because we have many more cool videos to come. Thanks for watching.